Did Bitcoin just print a massive bearish pattern? Crypto analyst Benjamin Cohen maps next step for BTC. Side note, I think Benjamin Cohen is fantastic. The analytics and the way that he analyzes things are definitely different than a lot of other people on YouTube, and I definitely like him. He's incredibly smart. So, crypto analyst Benjamin Cohen is looking at the possibility that Bitcoin just formed a massive double top, which is a bearish pattern that often signals the beginning of a downtrend. In a new strategy session, Cohen says that rather than a double top pattern, the king crypto, which is Bitcoin, appears to be turning a previously hard resistance level into support. This is where it gets interesting, guys. Check this out. He says, I don't consider it to be a double top. What I would say is that we are very likely building out macro level support. What I mean by that is if we look at, say, the weekly time frame, what you'll notice is that this area here, $60,000, that we previously held as resistance earlier this year, that could be held as that area that we held as resistance for months is now becoming support. That's what I see. Cohen also says that with all the volume, and this is what I think is interesting, with all the volume around $60,000 range, it may end up being the level where the next bear market bottoms out when it comes around. Miguel, I got to say, I personally, I'd be lying to you if I said that I didn't want Bitcoin to go lower than that on this next go round, right? Only because I don't see it going quite as high as you see it going.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear your take. $60,000. If 60 was the bottom, if that ends up flipping into the bottom, I think we need to go really high for that to be the bottom. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that would probably lead us to have a close to 200, maybe a little bit higher than 200K Bitcoin at that price point if we're expecting an 80 something percent retracement, right?
Yeah.
Correct me on my math there, because I know you got that Rain Man math. So it'd be somewhere a little north of 200K, correct?
So you would be, if it went down to 60,
Went down to 60 with an 80% retracement.
With an 80, 60, yeah, it would literally be down. It would be down. It would be 200. It would be 200K. Yep.
200K exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there you have it, right? That would be wild. That would be very wild.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping for. That's where I kind of agree with CVO. And there's a little bit of bias in there. I'm a big Bitcoin bull, so I never want to short my hopes for how high it can go.
Right.
So I do have some biases there for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But if that were to be true, right? I honestly do agree with his point in the fact of it becoming support. Maybe I don't know about the next bottom of the market, but I do agree that the fact that we've crossed 60, we've had multiple retracements, and we're staying above 60 for multiple weeks on end, and we've been closing every weekly candle at new all-time highs. Like, not new all-time high of price point, but a new all-time high on the weekly candle close.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is showing that we are growing tons of support. There's a lot of buy-up pressure to stay above 60K. And it is a very good thing for Bitcoin. Same thing happened when we were at 30K, right? We were ranging between 30, 35, 28, 30, 35, 30, 35. We were there for multiple weeks, almost like a couple of months. And then we saw a huge blast off, right? We're kind of seeing the same thing here in the 60s. We've been here for a couple of weeks now, ranging in the 60s. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, where we have a blast off, just how we did from 30K and start moving, having those 10K candles.
Yeah, there's a lot of support there, and I just want to throw this out there. When I'm not the like super TA guy. I believe in TA. I believe that it's a good tool for my tool belt. But one of the things I am a true believer on, as it relates to support and resistance, on the support side of things, when you have massive amounts of an asset being bought up around the same area, those people are not wanting to go into, it means they believe in that price point as being a good accumulation zone, and they are not looking for losses from that point. So I think it's really interesting. 60K is higher than I thought we would be. If he is correct, I thought we were going to go a decent amount lower than that. I'm actually going to. So Miguel, I just shared my screen again. He said, I do think there's a decent chance in the future that the current prices could be around the next bear market bottom. It could be lower than we are today. It could be a little bit higher, but I would say around the current prices could be the next bear market bottom. I don't think Bitcoin is going to 20,000. I don't think it's going to 30,000. And I would agree with him. Miguel, have been thinking along the lines of it going down to around 40,000 is kind of what I was thinking, we were headed. If it only goes to 60, well, I'm going to hope and pray that the percentages that we're planning on actually work out that way. I really wouldn't like to see it go to 100 and then only back down to 60, right? Like long term, sure, that feels great, but the opportunity that I believe that we're getting ready to have come upon us is the opportunity to take a lot of profits, which we would be, right? Even at 100, like a lot, but whatever, a lot of profits. And then that bear market bottom, I want a big spread there. I do. I want one more opportunity, especially with ETH. But I want one more opportunity to buy at some of those stupid low prices, as I call them. And I'll tell you what, we thought that, and this is totally an opinion, so take this for what it's worth, but we thought that we were already going to be blasting off. I think that it's very interesting that we are consolidating right now. I think that ultimately it speaks for the health of the market overall. And the fact that a lot of these big whales are accumulating at 60, I think it says, hey, Bitcoin is as strong as ever, and we're going to make healthy moves forward. I still think we'll end up with a crazy blow off top. But if we make smaller, healthier moves as we move forward, I don't think we're going to see as big of a correction into the bear market, if that indeed is what we continue to do.
Yeah, to that point, right before I get to what I'm saying, guys, drop it in the chat. What is it that you think will be the price bottom for Bitcoin in the next bear market? Want to see that in the chat, guys. So while you guys are doing that, what I found very interesting about what he was saying and the psychology behind this article, and what you said was, we've been consolidating, right? We didn't expect this consolidation at this price point, at this time frame right now, so late in the game. And that speaks a lot to the fact that people are expecting blast off moments, and instead we're getting consolidation in these big red days like we are today. Not that it's a huge red day, but 5% down, everything's red. People are wondering what's going on. And the article said, do you think it's a double top, right? They were talking about the double top theory, instilling fear and doubt into people, thinking, wait a minute, maybe this is it. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't have enough fuel to go above to new all-time highs, and it tapped out at 67K again, and we're coming back down, and this is it, and makes people start getting doubtful. Because when people start getting doubtful about what's going to happen, and then out of nowhere we have a blast off, you have an excess amount of FOMO, right? Versus if you were already expecting, into November, we're going to go into November with good price movement, and you see it, you're like, all right, everything's going according to plan. I don't need to buy up anymore right now. We're good. This is all part of the plan. But when you start getting scared, you start thinking this is the bottom, this is the top, and we're going to come down. And then you see a gigantic, oh man, here comes the blast off. I need to get more now because I'm going to miss it. This is the opportunity. And that's what I think they're going for. I think they're going for that. And CVO has mentioned it. Yeah, confusion, right? Confusion, fear, don't know what's going to happen. We were expecting this, but this is happening. We're expecting blast off November, right? And what happened? It's been slow November. It's been sideways consolidation, not really going anywhere. And it's got people confused, and it's got people putting articles out there talking about double tops.
Yeah. My question becomes, at the point that we're really, if we do continue to just kind of make more of that slow crawl, every day that we don't have a blast off, Miguel, I got to tell you, is one day closer to me stating the idea that we might be moving into something totally different. We might be moving into a lengthening cycle. This is not me being
Super
impatient.
cycle?
No, a lengthening cycle, lengthening.
Super cycle.
No, not super, but ultimately,
Super cycle.
I see at some point, and we talked about this yesterday, Miguel. At some point, guys, check it out. Crypto fam, listen to me here. At some point, the same thing is not going to continue to happen. At some point, things are going to change. And let me tell you the one reason why. Because if it continues to be overall in the macro level predictable, people, that means you and I, right, the retail trader will be able to capitalize off that. There is going to be a point at which you will have a few huge shakeouts, a few huge shakeouts and fakeouts, at which it will blast off and overall not coming back. We're going to get priced out of the market, and what you have is what you have.